Yo, how's it going? I'm good. I'm good. No worries. Let me grab you a Video Ninja link. Nice. The link in Talent General. Join that, and then I'll bring in your camera. Let me check. Yes, I do. I gotcha. Yup, let me get you in here. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I did see that. Alright. Camera was frozen for half a second. Oh, yeah. It's on my end. I don't know what's going on. Like, it looks mostly fine, but there's some spots where it's freezing, and it's a very funny freeze frame. That's really weird. I have a weird glitch on my end that wherever I'm not... It's only freezing when I'm not actively editing the properties of the link. So if I close the edit window, it does, which is really fucking weird. I've never had that before. Odd. Hello and welcome back to Ontario Campus Carball. We are back for another year of Rocket League action here in Ontario. I am joined by York's own NatorNoah here for the cast today. For your first time on a desk, so this is going to be very fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Like the swag you got going on, I got my own up on the hat, and yes, I was aware that my mic was on, and I didn't realize it for about 3 minutes. I haven't done a stream in like 6 months, so I'm a little rusty too. So this is going to be a very fun, very scuffed bit of commentary today. But how are you doing? How are you feeling about doing your first bit of commentary here, Noah?
Honestly, so my inspiration to me is Trigger Happy Jason. He's been casting our games for years now, and every time I hear him do it, I'm like, man, I wish I could get as hype as him. So I'm hoping to live up to expectations for York. And I'm hearing that at 8 o'clock we have a match. I mean, I literally set it up. So we have a match at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be a little biased, but I'm really looking forward to this first match. If you want to tell me a bit about the teams, I'd love to hear about them. I'm sort of familiar, but if you want to break down our match, or
Well, for the viewers at home who are maybe a little bit less familiar with the OCC, this semester we had 28 teams vie it out for the 27 available spots over 3 divisions. And unfortunately, one of these 2 teams' little brother, their academy team, the Seneca Swarm, was that unfortunate team that got eliminated. Now, Seneca is going to try and avenge that loss here today. Their first match of the season up against Queens Tricolour, which is Queens' B team here this season. Seneca finishing, I believe it was 4th in our open qualifier for the last 2 spots in Premier. So one of the top teams expected here in regional division, and the Queens Tricolour team, a strong mid-pack contender going into today. And so, yeah, this should be a very interesting game.
great. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like the players are entering the lobby. So I guess without further ado, here we go, right?
Absolutely. This is a best of 5. But on the scoreboard immediately here, it will say best of 7. I'm about to change that. Let me update that right now. Update header data. There we go. All right, we are in and we're off. Game number 1. First time doing commentary in a little bit as we get right into things between Queens Tricolour and the Seneca Sting. Queen's going to be playing on blue, Seneca on orange here in game 1. Silwo already with a good tip right in front of the net there. Slow play from Spag, although it's intercepted by Dino. Takes the ball. Silwo, a little touchdown here. Brain on it now, off the ceiling. Tries to get it back center. Bobcat misses, but that one launched back into the orange end by Spag. He'll try and catch back up to this one. Beat to it twice. Great play by Silwo to get it by the defense there. Slicing and dicing, and we'll see if Seneca can make something of this offensive possession. Not quite yet. Jorf with the pinch, but Brain keeps it in. A good possession game so far here from Seneca, Noah.
Absolutely. And from what I'm seeing, it's all Seneca offense right now. And you were mentioning how they looked really solid before this match started, and I can just see that happening now. I mean, I'm seeing some great Silwo touches coming out. They're following each other. They're staying upfield for each other, and they're keeping that Tricolour team on defense this whole time as Jorf here tries to control it out of his own corner. Hits it across. Silwo reads it off the corner. No one to follow. And Dino's just going to control it in the back. And I love this control out of our Seneca team here. Looking very strong as Bobcat looks to clear it.
Very patient game so far from them. You love to see it. Sent all the way back down into that orange end. Collected here by Silwo. Tries to make something happen out in front. Jorf can't quite get there. And Brain will send this away. Jorf, a new addition. Both of these teams, Seneca staying exactly the same as they were last year, and the B team here of Queens Tricolour staying nearly the same as well, though Jorf, the new addition, a rookie of both of these teams. Shot on will go just wide from Silwo. Great chance. The first really solid chance of the game will ricochet off the woodwork and just out of bounds. As this one's cleared by Spag, and Queens will breathe a quick sigh of relief. before Seneca tries to come and attack again. This possession
And
from
we
Seneca is so dangerous.
It's so dangerous. And we can kind of see all the offense going for Seneca, but even through all this offense, they only have one shot on goal this whole time. So if they really want to get these goals going, they really got to start putting the ball towards the net. They're kind of hitting it around. And I mean, props to the Tricolour defense for keeping it out here as maybe we have a bit of a tech pause.
Oh, looks
As
like a DC from Jorf. If there is an ability to, we might be able to. I am the match admin, so I have to pause in here. So we will restart this match from kickoff in just a moment. And for now, why don't we head back over to the desk?
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it in game, but we love what we're seeing here out of Seneca. They look so dominant in this game one. And I mean, if they keep this up, even with the low shot amounts, just keeping it in their end does not allow the Tricolour team to get it out of their own zone. Yeah, Silvo getting those multiple touches and really good control on the ball, taking their time. This is something I had to learn fairly recently with my new teammate Bosco. He was telling me that I got to take time on the ball. I just boom the ball away, and we're kind of seeing that out of Tricolour. So if they want to get any sort of offense going, they really need to keep that ball closer to them. But overall, very solid game one.
Yeah, it feels like for a lot of lower ranked players, just in general, I mean, anybody from 1K to like 1.7 all the way up to like 1700, the sort of boomer ball mindset seems to be there at like all levels, and is one of the main things I know in my game that I want to start to change as well. And it just feels like everybody has like a small problem with just like trying to relieve pressure or do something really fast, because you think that playing that boomer ball gets you a little bit more speed when really all it does is lose you that possession. So there are smart times to boom the ball away if you need to get boost or something of that sort, but a lot of the time it's usually not the right choice. And I think especially playing against a team that, I mean, at the moment Seneca is dominating that possession, when you feel like you're in that sort of stranglehold, it's really hard to get out of the mindset of just like get it out because we've been on defense for so long,
Oh yeah.
and so to overcome that sort of mental cycle of like just get it out because we've been on defense for so long. We'll see if Queens can make that adjustment here.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's something that comes. I'm a historically a rank threes player, and I'm very familiar with the boom the ball meta, which I kind of fell prey to. And now that I've been playing a lot more twos with my CRL team, I've really been forced to do that like awkward keep control of the ball, take time, and it really comes down to comms for this team. They have to tell each other, you have space on the ball, you have time. I'm gonna hit this left, that sort of thing, so they can keep the ball close to themselves. Um, but again, overall, I think even though we're seeing some boomer ball out of Seneca as well, they're the ones keeping it close to each other and booming it to each other. We even saw maybe like a minute or two into the game, they were passing the ball to each other on defense, and I love to see that that kind of play. Like it keeps the ball close. It forces your opponents to read what you're doing instead of just reading what the ball is doing. And I think that is the key difference here. And if this Tricolour team wants to impress us on offense, they're going to have to start doing that, or at least finding each other on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think that's sort of one of the biggest things, especially in regional, that's going to be a difference maker, because the regional is typically between about 1700 down to about 1350 to 1400, maybe a little bit higher, but usually that's sort of the range here, is sort of C3 to like low GC2, which is a big thing that I've noticed, especially in sort of lower champs, champ 1, champ 2, is the difference in passing, and being able to look for infield passes makes your life way easier. And I feel like that is much more common in twos, especially at that sort of lower 11, 1200 level. But once you get to this level, that's where the congestion starts to be a problem, and actually being able to find your teammates in those passes and keep that possession and make something coherent out of an attack is one of the really important things. And Seneca's doing that very well. They're finding a bunch of different ways to sort of break into the offense, make something happen, And we'll see what they can make happen here. As Jorf is back in the lobby, we are going to get back to things. Restart this one from kickoff and also add back an extra about 20 seconds to the clock.
And shout out to the Psyonix devs who added the admin feature a couple months ago. For OCC specifically, is what they said. For situations just like this, very important. So glad that they were able to do that. And we are going to get started. Good luck, have fun to both teams as we're getting started on kickoff. And we'll have to see, have Tricolour made the adjustment, or will they be stuck on defense once again as Dino, quick demo off the kickoff, very offensive heavy already for our Seneca team.
We'll see if they can keep it up here. The 50 in the center. Brain, 50, can't get it out. Silwo has it go right over his head. Jorf with a shot, save off the post by Silwo. At the last moment, able to get it off the line, using that post to his advantage. And now Seneca back here. Jorf has to go up and get that one. Does keep Seneca in this game. 50 in front for Dino. Can't quite get there. Silwo keeping it in front and dangerous, but Spag is able to get it out. It looks like this reset is done. Some wonders here for Tricolour. A little bit of a double commit. Jorf going forward on the way out. Looking like he's got a turn here, but Obituary is there. Cleared back in by Silwo. Another double commit, unfortunately, though, and that attack will stop there. Jorf gets it up over center. Brain can't tip it out to the corner. Jorf scores in transition. And Tricolour is the team to get the first goal on the board.
An absolutely beautiful read there from Jorf. Again, getting more than one touch on the ball is really just essential there to throw off the defense. And unfortunately, the third man was pushed up a bit too far, trusting in, I believe it was Dino's touch there, a little too hard. And that just left the net sort of open for that bottom right corner, and Jorf took advantage. So great read out of him as he makes a great save on the defense here. Obituary chooses to spawn on the left. Very smart play. Brain hits it over one. Looking for a pinch forward here. Silwo following that quick. And Silwo, I love what I'm seeing out of him. He's following these touches very well, keeping that pressure on the blue team here. As we're approaching our last 45 seconds of the match, Cubics, it looks like we could have a 1-0 game here.
We very well could. This has been a back-and-forth battle, especially in the second half, but Spag able to get in there, score another one for Queens. Jorf with the assist here, shoots it on. Brain not getting the ideal touch. And Queens University Tricolour getting on the board a second time here with 38 seconds left. I mean, a chance for Seneca to come back in this game, but it seems like that pause in the middle sort of threw them off of their normal cadence, and we'll see if getting in the next game won't be a problem anymore. But it looks like Queen's going to steal game one here.
Absolutely, unless we see some miracle play out of Seneca, which is possible. They've had a lot of offense. They just have to get it out of their own end, and we're seeing some great offensive pressure here from Queens, who are actually keeping them on the defense. No one there to punish the miss from Obituary, which just lets Spag get a free hit out. And with 10 seconds left, it's looking more and more dire. They're going to have to go all in here. Brain not wanting to commit for this as Dino's already up. Jorf hits it out. It's going to hit 0. And Queens Tricolour wins the first match.
A bit of a shocker here, all things considered. Tricolour takes game one. Seneca definitely the favorites going into this. I think I would have had them at 3-1 in this series. And Tricolour comes out and not only gets 2 goals late to take the win, but also gets the shutout here in game one. A lot of very good defense, keeping that ball in the corners, things like that here, Noah. And Tricolour comes out on top. We'll see what that does for them here in the rest of the series.
Absolutely. Seneca just has to, in my opinion, play a little more patient on that defense. They're pushing up. They're expecting too much. You could see the ball went over Silwa at one point. They didn't get punished, but then it went over Dino and they did. So Queens, for all the defense they played, they really took advantage of when they were on offense, and they made goals happen. Whereas I mentioned earlier in the game, Seneca had all that offense, but they were Queens was doing a great job keeping it in the corners away from that midfield. And keeping that threat away. So maybe more direct attacks from Seneca could be something we could see here. Something more down the midfield, more shots on net. Just keeping that pressure going, because I think they had great pressure. They just have to take advantage.
All three of these guys on Seneca also very good mechanically as well. Brain and Dino specifically. Silwo definitely more of a consistent rotational player. But Dino came into the team last semester and was phenomenal for them. Really gave them the win last year, in fact, in this very regional division. They were hoping to get up to Premier this year through the qualifiers and such, but unfortunately fell a couple of games short in the end, but still do look quite good here and could go back-to-back as regional division winners. And this time the winner of regional will get a auto-promotion slot up to Premier for this following semester in the winter. So that is definitely something that Seneca is going to want to play for.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to want a chance to take on the big dogs in Premier like York University and then all those other teams. So that'll be that'll be great to see if they can do that as Obituary goes for the redirect, isn't able to hit it. Silwo. Again, they're just finding each other on defense so well, but then the ball just ends up in Jorf's hands there. The defense is still having to be played for Seneca here as Obituary gets it past Silwo again. They just got to play 50s for each other here. Brain, great double tap, getting it around Obituary, but Jorf is there. Silwo hits it into one, but then it gets hit back down into him. Obituary up, maybe a little too early. Awkward touch. 50 in front of the net. Not what you want to see out of Queens, but they make good out of it. As Brain tries to hit it middle here. Spag tries to tap it out, doesn't get it. Obituary up for demos, looking for a redirect, doesn't quite hit it. Spag hits it out to Brain, he takes his time and gets it over one.
Great bit of work here from Queens to sort of stifle an attack for the moment. Jorf can't quite get it by. He's been all over the place in this series. Good strong shot there from Brain, cleared away. And that Gentlemates decal, that multi-tone pink matching the gamer tag today. Tip by Obituary low, over, off the backboard. Spag is there, and Seneca just ran out of attacking opportunities. Sent all three for it. With the reset from Silwo, can he get in? No, Bobcat holds in the corner. Center for Brain. Shot scores. Seneca gets their first goal on the board. Over 7 minutes into this series, but a very important goal to break that seal. And I think for the mental for this team as well, a very important goal.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a great regain from game one. As Jackie Boy is saying in the chat, they do have to regain, and they have done so here as Dino goes for a flip reset. As you were mentioning those mechanics, Brain follows quickly, and it's in for 2-0 here. Bit awkward here. Obituary decides not to play the backboard, and it just leads to a punishment play there over Spag, who can't react in time.
Great play there by Dino. That flip reset off the backboard, something that just the Tricolour defense was not ready for. 50 from Silwo here, 3 in a row. A game-changing series of plays in a matter of moments from a tie game to 3-0 Seneca. A big series of events here gets Seneca on top and comfortably, and now we'll see how they can play with a lead.
Absolutely. Well, they've looked very solid so far this game, and they are already back on offense again. Brain stealing that corner boost, keeping that Queens defense on defense. Spag hits it out, gets a great 50 over one. Jorf with a shot potentially. No, Brain is there to cover. And now he has a 1v1, flicks it over one on the backboard. Great opportunity there, but Seneca unable to take advantage, and so they have to rotate back here. We can see on the defense, Queens is giving a lot more space than they were in that first game. I think maybe they have to try and play a little more aggressive and cut off these plays early, or else taking these 50s in front of their net is not going to be advantageous, as we see another one go in for Silwo, and Seneca up 4-0, commanding lead in this game too.
Brain's 50-50s in the last minute have been just impeccable. Like every single one, he is just muscling whoever he is up against on Queens. And it is boding very well for this Seneca team. Great chip up there from Silwo to Dino. In the corner, that one will be cleared out, only as far as Silwo And Seneca will be back on the attack here. Oh, that 50 goes poorly, and it looks like Jorf will get one here for Tricolour. A little bit of confusion here in the midfield. The double commit, both of them not wanting to just go for it, and that just goes back the other way into the net. That's not what you want to see either there, Noah.
Oh, absolutely not. The third man from Seneca does need a little bit of work. We saw it in that first game. That's how they let in their goals, and that's how they're letting in their goals this game. They're a very offensive-minded team. They love to just go, 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 and that's why they're always on offense. But these counterattacks can be deadly when you're committed so far up. But still, a great pass middle here. Obituary forced into an awkward spot. Fake by Silwo. Great fake. Pops it over. And we see a 5-1 here. Could we see a Brazilian?
Maybe. I think he flipped the wrong way, too. I think he meant to flip back the other back diagonal direction. And so he flipped, like, laterally instead of straight back at the ball. And I think that was where things really, really went wrong. That 50 could have actually been okay for Tricolour, but instead he just didn't end up getting a fender on the ball. As Brain clears that one back in, a great read from Brain to just boom it into the open space right by him. Good touch from Spag to get it by 2. The recovery is there from Seneca. Bang off the wall from Jorf. Gets it by 1. Shot on target. Good. Clear away from Bobcat off the corner boards. Bobcat over 2. Can't get another touch, unfortunately. Brain here. Can he muscle his way through again? Doesn't really need to muscle, but that shot from Dino goes just off. Tip up from Bobcat. Cleared away into the corner. Brain on this one. Tapped up off the ceiling. Down back in front. Silwo clears. Tip from Dino. Just off target. Bobcat doesn't quite take his time. Can't take that one up the wall for a little bit more of a controlled play, but game 2, this is, I think, more the dominant kind of Seneca sting we thought we might see in this series, as Dino will sauce in the 6th. 6-1 victory here. No Brazil, but the Seneca sting swarming and scoring a bunch of goals here. All 6 of those coming within the last 3 minutes of this game, and a good chunk of them coming in that middle minute between the 3-minute and 2-minute mark. A pivotal series of moments there for this team, and you can see the whole story here, Noah, in the shots. 14-2.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. And the vibe I kind of get here is Queens wants to get off of defense. They want to get out of defense. They want to get out of defense quickly. And they're kind of rushing the play as third man, is what I was noticing. And this is a thing with teams at slightly lower levels. They tend to do this. They tend to have a certain play style they want to stick to, and then as time goes on, they want to get a goal. They think they deserve a goal, so they'll push up a little too far, and it'll be over their heads. They'll have awkward touches, like we saw Obituary forced a backflip and unable to hit the ball in front of his net, and it just leads to all these goals. But I do want to say Seneca used their mechanics to their advantage this game, getting great flip resets off the ceiling, great 50s. And as you said, this is exactly what we expected to see from Seneca. And let's hope they can keep it up for Game 3 for any Seneca fans out there, as we are heading into Game 3 here in 1 second.
It does feel like a lot of games at this level are either won or lost in 50s. Because not only do you get the possession off of it if you have a good 50, but it also gives you sort of a extra level of confidence in sort of one of the most basic things. What a pass! Great save from Bobcat there. My goodness, what a play. But it gives you that extra level of confidence that sometimes you need. And as soon as things started going right for Seneca, that's when you saw them break out a lot more of those mechanics and things like that. And I think that gave them that extra confidence they needed to really make something of that game and get momentum squarely back in their corner after being shut out in Game 1 to get 6 in Game 2. Very impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you knew it was coming. They had a lot of offense. We can see here.
Oh, the whiff.
They're actually on defense here. Awkward save coming out of Dino. Jorf, no boost. Can't make the touch.
Oh, that's
Might have been
brutal.
open if he just had one pad. Unfortunate. That's Obituary here. Plays a great 50 to the side, forcing Brain to make a bit of an awkward touch. Actually does miss. Spag gets it around 1, forcing Silwo into an awkward spot. Shot isn't quite there, so they're able to make the save. A
Team
bump out
bump.
of each other on Seneca. But you can see it still works out, still goes the other way. And now Seneca in a familiar position on offense. And Queens here doing a lot better, keeping it closer,
Ooh.
you know, taking their time. Great play of the Spag here. Oh my goodness.
Jorf
We have the
went
counterattack going. Oh my goodness.
right by that one. Unfortunate for Jorf. He's had 2 of those opportunities so far in this game, and unfortunately gone right by both of them. Brain incredibly dangerous with the ball, especially solo one-on-one. Sent out. Great block by Silwo. Bobcat does get that full boost and a bad touch, though. Off the backboard. Open space. Silwo with the double tap. It goes. The solo play from midfield gets this double tap by Spag and then also gets the second one as Bobcat can't get the touch off the backboard. A beautiful play to get Seneca on the board.
Absolutely beautiful double tap there. And that's what you love to see out of Seneca, using, again, their mechanics to their advantage, taking their time, taking advantage of those mistakes. You saw Obituary was a bit too far pushed up, and it led to a pretty open net if you got that double. And now Spag on the other end, backflips, actually leaves it for Obituary. Great fake there. Silwo hits it out over the entire defensive line, forcing them all the way back. Boost does not spawn for Spag, so he can't get that double. Jorf does not make contact on the ball. There's enough space for him to recover and get another touch. Silwo hits it up here, looking for a double pass to Obituary, but Obituary plays it very safe, unable to land the 50. Dino pre-jumping middle, Brain can't quite get it past Jorf as he plays some incredible defense. And here we can see Seneca on offense again, familiar position as before.
Cleared back into the blue end. Seneca still holding a lot of the possession, but it feels a lot more even in this game. Tricolour having their own share of opportunities. Only a few very good ones, but still the Seneca defense holds strong. Touch by Jorf. That's a bit of an awkward touch. Into the corner. Cleared away by Silwo. Gets it up over 1 off the backboard. Jorf gets muscled and Silwo gets 2. He says hit the gym. Go to the dorm. Get some weights off the rack. Oh my
goodness.
What a shot from Silwo.
And you predicted it perfectly. You said the 50s would lead to the determining goals in this game, and that's exactly what has happened so far. You see that goal, just a absolute banger 50 from Silwo, able to stay behind that ball and keep close.
Dino with a
tough
sharp
angle for
too,
Dino.
yeah.
That's crazy as Silwo has possession here. It's across the Dino. Great communication there.
They're looking for those infield passes, like I was saying earlier as well. And we'll see if they can keep that up, because that shows the sort of confidence this team has. This is a team that's built around being a very good overall team. A lot of teams, especially in Premier and things like that, I mean, even with York, like, the team, y'all are not bad at Rocket League, obviously, but Bosco is one of the best players in North America, currently playing in collegiate, in, like, period, right? And we see the same thing with even Brock, with Soars and Lev Mode. Another great play there from Queens here, gets them a goal. 1-goal game now. But this Seneca team is built on just having a bunch of solid players, all at about the same level. And I think you can see that in sort of the mindset of none of them are going for like super crazy things. None of them are looking for one specific teammate or knowing they have to play alone and that kind of thing. You can really see this team starting to gel as a group of players who are very mechanical generally, but when they start looking for each other, you know they have that next level of confidence.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I've noticed too. They love their solo plays, but they can pull out those passes. They're like a Team Ultimates kind of from RLCS. They remind me of the everyone can solo play, but everyone can also pass it, and it makes them very unpredictable and difficult to read. And so Queens is doing a great job, but they've still let in 2 here through the Seneca fantastic offense. Bit of a pass back there. Dino makes it very awkward for Brain as he'd already pushed up. Silwo here is going to have to get a clear. He does not clear it successfully as Jorf gets a clear, or a center, excuse me. Great pop-up here. We'll see if Queens can make anything happen on 0 seconds. Obituary off the backboard. Is Jorf there? Has to just play a 50, has no boost, gets the corner, and it does hit the ground. Seneca squeaks that one out 2-1, but I really, really love what I'm seeing out of Queens. They made a great comeback there, not letting the 6-1 really affect their mental, and they kept it very, very close. You can see the shots much more even, 6-5 or 5-5, excuse me, and the saves also very even as well.
Also, I see quite a few of you tuning in here in chat. Thank you all for tuning in this week. If there are any clips you think that are worthy to save in our arsenal, you can clip them here on this channel. I'll pick them up later, especially if your teams are playing in one of these games. I would love to collect some of the clips from these games and post them on our social media and things like that as well. So a little PSA to the peanut gallery of feel free to take some clips here, especially if you are following and or are an admin of our channel here. But Seneca up 2-1. 2-1 in this game as well. Less overt firepower from Seneca. Queen's doing a better job, I think, of having a little bit more control. And we'll see if they can keep that up here in this game number 4, where they are on the ropes. And we'll see if they can make like Muhammad Ali, sting like a butterfly, and float like a bee, and get back into the series, into game number 5.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to say, you got York U coming up. You don't have to worry about clips. We'll be hitting every shot will be a clip. All right, you'll be fine with clips. You got all the mix in the world here. As Brain, quick shot. Spag gets a great block there. Sewell up for that, very quick. Sewell gets the block. Dino off the bar. Can't quite put it on net. Very close for Seneca there in the first 20 seconds of the game.
Very good opportunity. Silwa with the center. Dino with the touch just wide again. Off the crossbar on the there. You got it there eventually. You guys, we got there. We got there. We're there. Neil, don't worry. I know you're in chat. Don't need to yell at them for this. They got there eventually. We're there now. 1-0 game 5.
Is the extra, honestly, if that's intentional, the extra pass is actually very smart, because you see Obituary playing the net, not expecting the ball to go behind him, and so when it does, he's in a very awkward spot, and it puts him way out of position, to the point where Brain essentially has a free shot. Speaking of free shot, Brain, great save from Obituary there as it goes straight down middle for him. Silvo still on this ball somehow, even after getting bumped. Great 50. And it's just the speed out of Seneca. I mean, they just look relentless right now.
Oh, what a save!
Whole save out of Obituary using the post as his best friend. And it really has, the crossbar as his best friend. And it's really been the best friend of this team. But it won't be there as Dino puts in a second one. Great pass there from Brain. And they are 2-0 up in the first minute.
Yeah, good idea to get that one off of Jorf. I think it removed that sense of control even that Jorf had. Even though Brain couldn't make anything of it himself necessarily, it sort of removed the idea for Jorf that, like, I have full boost, I'm closer to the ball than my opponent, who has shown that he is very mechanical and very good at Rocket League so far this series. And so
Absolutely.
I think removing that confidence factor was big.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Seneca they just look quicker in this game, but that doesn't mean they can't be scored on, as Brain forced to make a save there after dodging a demo. Dino hits it across. No one from Queen's quite ready for that, so he does have space there. He does sort of just hit it out middle to nobody, and it gives Queens a free clear into the orange end here, as we see sort of the first offense here for Queens, but instantly they're right back on defense in an awkward spot. Spag, great clear to Obituary, who does get beat there. Brain tries to fake, does get around 2. Incredible play. Somebody clipped that. Let's put that on social. That was incredible. Great play out of Dino there to recognize putting that middle as a free ball for his teammate, and just beautiful shot out of Brain there.
The patience to slice and dice too. Knew he had the time to take his time and flick that one in. Beautiful bit of work there. And Seneca finds themselves up 3-0 with 3 minutes to go. On the brink of taking this series home in 4, We'll see if Seneca can hold on. But it's Obituary Bobcat making his way down. Couple of umps. A little bit of rough stuff as they try and make their way out. That one just by, and Silwo able to find the bottom corner. Not even halfway through this game. 4-0 Seneca. Great pass from Dino to Brain off the backboard. Jorf just barely missing that touch. And Silwo sinks it in the bottom corner. That's a great tic-tac-toe little play there, Noah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's hard for Queens to defend that sort of thing when Seneca are just playing it so quick as well. Silwo off the ceiling, going to show all his mechanical prowess. Great defense there from Queens, keeps it away. Speaking of Queens, now they're on offense here. Maybe a pass down for Obituary. Fakes it for his teammate, but it's well read there. Dino, as Brain hits it middle. Silwo cuts it early. Dino tries for a shot, just out of reach. Brain trying to put it middle. They're just keeping this pressure on. They're not, you can see they're not necessarily just putting the ball on net over and over. They're just keeping it. Oh, Dino, psycho. Not quite, but he does get a great second touch there. And Brain, you can see he just slows down the play there to let his teammate get to that middle spot so he can play that 50 or the beat. And it's just these little things that are adding up to the Seneca offense. The Silwo.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's just brutal. It's just brutal. Cubics, what do you have to say about this one?
I wasn't sure we were going to get a better three-man passing play than the last one, but they've done it already. That is incredible. That is the definition of tic-tac-toe right there. Bang. Back of the net. Beautiful shot there from Seneca. Oh, my goodness. And absolutely. At this point, Queen's got to be a little bit devastated by that one in terms of just diced up like a drill of like hockey traffic cones. Have to make I feel like you have to make a hockey reference at some point if this is truly going to be an Ontario thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Is this one sent up?
Silwo, I don't know much about hockey, but Silwo's like the Crosby of Rocket League.
Dishing it up out there.
Sense. But yeah, we can see just keeping the possession. They always have 100 boosts on these air dribbles, making it very hard for Queens to challenge. And they're challenging maybe a little late, but it's hard to read, and they're getting their outplays. And this is something I had to learn too is great 50 there. Seneca's just playing their beats so well. Like you mentioned the 50 game, but oh my goodness, that fake almost just destroyed the whole defense.
It destroyed Brain too, unfortunately. So
you can see this game feels just about over for a Seneca win, and they're pre-jumping each other in this midfield, trying to go for clips for the socials, really trying to get you impressions for maybe an Edit Tim video. Just Brain, just get the clear out here. 10 seconds left, and Cubics, if you could sum up this game in a couple of words, what would you say right now?
I mean, I think I'd pick the 3 tic-tac-toe. The passing from Seneca in this game was very, very consistent and very, very accurate. And that was sort of the way that this one felt like it went. Seneca really found a way to play alone but together, if that makes any sense, where they were able to create opportunities by themselves and also equally had the opportunity to set up their teammates to make this game as good as it was for Seneca in a dominant win here in game number 4. A couple of close ones there, Noah. Ended up going to 4 after the tech pause in game 1. Queens coming out taking that one, but Seneca getting the gentleman's sweep with a 2-3-4 3-1 victory here in this series. A very good one. What would your words for either that last game or this whole series be?
I mean, personally, I think Seneca looked very team-oriented. It looks like they have practiced together as a team. It looks like they know when to use their mechanics, when to pass the ball, when to keep it close, when to boom it over. And they just took advantage of every single play, every single mistake that Queens made. Especially in that second, third, and fourth game, they really didn't overcommit as third man while also keeping the pressure on the whole time, and that is what you like to see out of Seneca, and that is why they are probably the closest to premier level out of this whole league. And yeah, I'd love to see more out of them. And if you're Queens here, I think you shouldn't be disappointed in yourself in that showing. I think you have a lot of great replays to look over, a lot of improvements to make, but overall, like you took that game one in pretty sound fashion. They got a couple of outplays, and I liked the way they looked. And overall, I think we got some great content there. So yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. We got a lot of good content, a lot of good clips. There'll be a few of those going on our social media this week, so stay tuned over there, both on Instagram and on X. But don't go anywhere. We will be right back with another game, York versus Sheridan at 8 o'clock. But before then, we are going to sit down with this guy over here and talk a little bit about OCC, Rocket League, and the lands, and it's sort of like an intermission style podcast for about 20 to 30 minutes. So we're going to take a few minutes, 10 to 15, and we'll be right back with you with sort of a little bit of a longer interview here with Noah. We'll see you in a few.
Bye, guys.
She found a way into my heart. Oh, oh, she don't make up, no, she make art. And I need a way to treat it, cause I keep getting high off of her. Off of
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some intermission content here on Ontario Campus Carball. I'm back here with Noah as we watched the last game earlier, Seneca versus Queens. Very good game. Seneca came out very dominant in a couple of those matches, winning 6-1 and 5-0 in games 2 and 3. But the other two, much closer affairs, though Seneca did come out on top of that series 3-1 in the end. Now, I know you were just popping over to your other call to talk with the York guys, because they're coming up next in about a half hour here against Sheridan. How are they feeling going into that next match?
Oh, they're confident. Uh, they like their odds. We have Bosco Boy, the absolute goat, rank X. He should be getting pro tryouts soon for LCS. No, I'm kidding, but he's really solid, and he's taught us a lot of fundamentals of how we should be playing. We also have Nitro, who's new to York as well. He's one of Bosco's friends, and he's like a rank B/B plus player, and he's been a very solid addition to the team, very mechanical. And we also have Steve Once, who was on the team last year, and it's sort of a flip flop between me and him for who usually plays as the third player. But next week there's CRL Open on Wednesday, and I have classes, so he'll have to fill in for that. So we're trying to get him as many reps as possible before then, so we can perform well and hopefully prove to everyone that we are not just a lackluster team that comes from New York. We can really compete here. So.
Yeah, I think there's one of the sentiments that I had heard in some circles was sort of that it's Bosco and his merry band of men, as I would like to put it, of Bosco and then other players who are very good at Rocket League but not Bosco, and I think the chemistry on a team like that matters a lot more than the individual players to some degree, but I know we'd mentioned earlier, like Bosco is a huge addition, no matter what. He was our number two ranked player in the entire league, and how has having him and I mean Nitro obviously knowing him before coming to York, how has that helped the sort of dynamic over at York, and how are they enjoying their time so far in the York RL team?
I mean, it's great. So this sort of unspoken thing we have with each other is Bosco Nitro tried to teach me about Rocket League. So Bosco is obviously a really really solid player, and he's less of known as like the mechanical player and more of like the fundamentals, and that really helps me learn because when I see someone like I don't know like first killer on the ball or something, I'm like I can't recreate that. Like I'm not that's impossible for me. My fingers can't do that. But when I see Bosco, the way he plays is very solid, very fundamental, and he plays this role, supporting role in our team that allows me and Nitro to be confident in going for the ball and playing. So that's really helped. And as for the second part of your question, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, York didn't have a roster before Bosco and Nitro joined. We, as you might know, we weren't able to even come to the last OCC because one of our players had already kind of been done with York and Rock League and everything, and so that was really disappointing. But you know, that sort of thing happens, and so it was going to be me, Steve, Once, and just I don't know, like a third we could find. There was no one really to show up, and out of nowhere, Bosco and Nitro came out of nowhere. And they were said like, I mean, it's great. And then on the other side, I was going to say, they're both going into business. I'm in my last semester actually of business marketing at York University, about to graduate, and funnily enough, they're both going into the same program I did. Although Nitro is going into IT, Bosco's actually going into marketing himself. So it's kind of been like this yin and yang, where they teach me about Rocket League and I teach them about college and university and the experience and what it's like at York. And I mean, I've been trying to get them out, Cubics. I swear, I've been trying to get them to come out, but they love their Discord den and their and their Rocket League. So it's tough whenever because we have classes on different days. Whenever they're not on campus, they don't want to make the trek out to because York's known as a commuter school. the trek out to York to even just meet up or anything, which is fine. I don't expect like people to make like the hour long trip to come, but um, but yeah, compared to I mean, it's sort of similar to with the other teams I had too, like Prime and Hargan in the past, and then Steve Onse. I didn't even meet them in person until OCC.
Mm.
So to glaze you a little bit, um, as much as I've been glazing Bosco Nitro, this land, like I mean, it's essential for Canadian Rock League. If I'm going to be honest, like it's hard for these Canadian teams, minus maybe like St. Clair Green, who's like Cy and Jazzy, who get paid to play. Minus that team and maybe like their B team, like Christian, and now looking at like Brock and Durham as well, to compete at the high like international level, where like you have your Northwoods and your Fishers and all those teams that get like paid to play. We don't get paid to play. In fact, if I'm gonna be honest, York doesn't really support esports that much. We're lucky enough to be called varsity, but we
Mhm.
don't have like a hub. Whereas like I look at these like the St. Clair, they did a LAN and it's like at their $1 million facility, and I'm like, we could only dream. But um, yeah, I mean to keep, I could keep rambling on, but I'm sure you have more questions to ask. Um, but
I
yeah, I just want to say I appreciate OCC for everything you guys do. So yeah.
I appreciate hearing that. It is kind of cool that Bosco's going into the same program as you, and sort of so. How has it also in that vein been sort of being a like off the floor mentor for him as well? Because like especially joining a any college or university here. Like I was chatting with Reeker off of Fanshawe not too long ago during the Open qualifiers, and he was like, "Yeah, it's exciting to have the LAN in April. It'll be my first one since I'm a freshman, that kind of thing." And obviously, the same goes for Bosco in this regard too. So, what is his sort of thoughts on like being able to come out to a LAN, and how is it sort of being able to mentor him as sort of an older student at the school, just as like classmates and people in the same program?
I mean, I've told them as much as I can. My first year was very different from what they have now because obviously I started in 2020, which was peak COVID, so all my classes were online. But what I will say is, in my second year when I joined York Rocket League, that's when I like met my major friend group, and like I've been talking to those people ever since, and we've been all been like really close, and we've had the opportunities to meet up at like OCC, St. Clair Land. So just I've been just telling them like don't take opportunities you have for granted. I know that they're a little more like on the shyer side, and they don't like going out as much, which is totally fair. I understand that. I was exactly like them at their age, but I've been trying to push them to like go out, join clubs, do the extracurriculars that put you out of your comfort zone. Like for me, like I joined the esports club in 2021, and I was a part of it for 5 years, and just knowing those people just made such a huge difference. It made me feel connected to the campus, whereas in 2020 I was like so disconnected that I was literally playing Rocket League training well in my classes on my side monitor. It was just so different. Whereas now, like being next to people, like the difference is insane. I can't express enough how like lucky they are for having this opportunity. Like I feel lucky too for just being able to go to university in general, but obviously like and I feel so lucky that they're on my team now and that they can, you know, take York to another level before I even leave. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
our team was always pretty solid. Like Hargan was the number one Indian player before he moved to Canada. Before they were even in RLCS, and Prime, he was like SSL. He was the one of the goats. He like one of the coaches from Boise. He knew him pretty well, so we got coaching from him. So I'm not saying I had like a nobody roster. Like we did well. We went to every OCC. We did
Mm-hmm.
well on land. We got our prize money and got our name out there. But the difference between like them and like a Bosco is insane. So yeah, like it's just beautiful, and knowing that the team's in good hands in the future, like the fact that their first year they have at least 4 more years left, is very makes me very happy too. And they're just grinding to improve. Like the passion I see from them as well. Like Ax was mentioning it in the chat. he's our unofficial official coach, and he's been, he came along and helped us mentally through the CRL tryouts, and just let it made us calm down. Like without him, I don't think we would have gotten as close to qualifying for CRL as we did. If I'm going to be honest, like obviously in the lowers we kind of underperformed and we got top 48, but in the uppers we nearly beat OC, who ended up making it out of our bracket into official CRL. We were one goal away in overtime, which is just incredible for me because like I'm like a nobody player. Like I'm just, and then I tune into like Tryhouse's stream or something. He's like, "Who is this York University roster? Who are these? Like I know Bosco, but who are these guys? They're good." Like it's just so cool to see like York University getting that recognition. It really deserves for a team of really lackluster players who don't get paid to play. We just play for the fun of it and for the land. So again, appreciate it. And I always keep wrapping the questions back around to how great OCC is, but I can't like understate enough how great these lands are. So yeah, just appreciate that.
Yeah, speaking of the lands, you've actually participated at every single OCC land and sort of seen the evolution of this league and this brand and what OCC is sort of along with a lot of people. There's a few people from like the real beginning, like some of the TMU guys. I remember Joel or Cressy on Durham. They're one of their players and historically their coach last season. Was one of the original players. He came out with Drew, who does also do his own streaming on Twitch and is one of our main users of the self promo channel. So go check him out. Very good dude. But yeah, you were also one of the first sort of teams to come out, and York had sort of 3 semi-unofficial teams, I believe, that participated in that LAN. And so, how was your experience with that? Because I think that was the first LAN that you have played in up to that point.
Right. So that was just after COVID. Like I say, just after COVID. It was years after COVID, like the main hit. But just being able to meet my teammates in person, like that was the first time I'd ever met them. Let me be clear, which is crazy to me. And then after that, it sort of opened the floodgates to like meeting at Trigger Happy's place and doing stuff outside of Rocket League that just helped us become even closer friends. So again, all my appreciation to OCC. I remember that LAN. I was talking to Hargan because he was on a different team. He was with a different team at the time, and I was with, I believe, Uka and Bang. They were like technically sub-ins for the team. Like we hadn't really played together until the LAN because Prime and Hargan, and I knew this beforehand, so it's not like they surprised me, but they told me they're going to be playing with their third, and they made the grand finals. So they did very solid for what they had. And I remember talking to Hargan, and he was like, "I just watched your series. I think that's the best I've ever seen you play." And I just felt so happy. Like I was like, "That's incredible. I appreciate that." Like I was putting in the hours for this thing that, in the grand scheme of things, like didn't have much like. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was such a small event in the Rock League thing, but for me it was everything. Like obviously like RLCS at the time is like millions of dollars, right? And CRL is like also like tens of thousands. But just these smaller like tight knit tournaments where you get to meet players like on the bubble or like A players who are who you almost look up to, right? Like you see them in pro lobbies in twos, and it's incredible. Now I'm playing against them and I'm winning games. It's so cool. So without that, it's like you don't have the opportunity to do that, and that just that yeah. Anyways, and shout out to the B and C team as well. They don't exist anymore at York. We only have one team, but yeah, those guys are super cool as well, and I coached them so much. They appreciated that. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I remember one of the other things about that LAN that I thought was very cool, because that was sort of the very first LAN, the Campus Carball Cup event, December 2023, was it?
Okay.
Goodness. God, that feels so long ago now. But we're going into our 4th semester of like actual competition. We didn't do any in winter 24. because that's when I was wrapping up my second to last year of university. We're just coming off of doing like the big project, because the Campus Carball started as a school project for me. So everybody you see in the server still, for those who are not sort of like legacy members, with the Free Play Productions tag, is my original production crew for that event. And really appreciate those guys, because this was sort of like my child of an idea to do this like LAN at TMU with the gaming hub and things like that. And you sort of had that moment where you were like seeing players that you'd looked up to for a really long time. And I remember I had that moment with Freshness on who was on Algonquin at the time. He used to play for Ghost as sort of like a bubble pro for a long time. And I remember back in, what was it, I forget if it was 16 or 17. But there was a Canadian championship that was held, or like Canadian Open Cup or something, that was held at the Scotiabank Theatre down by like OCAD campus almost. And I guess even past that. And I went, and he was playing in that tournament, and I think got second on a team named Him Tortons, I'm pretty sure, which is one of my favorite team names, because they edited the Tim Hortons logo and switched the first two letters. Was pretty great. But I remember seeing him play that. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because he was one of the main like Canadian guys who I was like very impressed with at that time, and I knew he was relatively young, but it was cool to like see him in person at this event that I was running like 4 or 5 years later, and sort of had that kind of moment with that too. And so it's like one of the fueling sort of things is like being able to provide a space like that for the community, and I really do enjoy putting this stuff on for those moments like that, and why I feel like it's really important to have at least one LAN every year for OCC, because that's sort of what it's been built off of, is like my love of not only Rocket League but like live events and the collegiate scene, and all combined into this like one thing that I find really fun. And so I'm glad that you guys have historically enjoyed it. I know last semester was a bit of a turbulent one. You guys ended up having to forfeit the matches at the LAN, unfortunately, last winter, but you guys were able to make it out into the fall one and did perform pretty well as sort of perennial like fringe premier team. Now coming into the season ranked number 2. Does that have any more weight on your back, or is it mostly just enjoying the fact that you're playing with Bosco and Nitro now?
I mean, to me, it's like it makes those like hard to win series, like what would have previously been hard to win, like a Lev Soares matchup on Brock, like fully winnable, and it's incredible to me, and it makes me feel like I can like compete at that that higher level. Like already, like my peak MMR has gone up by like over 100 since I started talking to these guys like 2 or 3 months ago, and they've just helped me a lot. So that makes a huge difference. And then like it gives us something to talk about too, because they're like, okay, so how did that LAN go, and what did you learn? And like I don't know, they're asking me like a bunch of questions about it, and it's so cool that I can be like that sort of like role model in a sense, and yeah, I just get them excited about it for like these tournaments. So it's really cool. And I just wanted to say, back at that first LAN you were mentioning, it was a school project. It's just like, I hope you ace that, because it was so cool. like the fact that you had a media day where we could get our headshots, and then a couple years later Nitro or Bosco is bringing this up in the stream, and it's like, dude, this is you on LAN with your headshot doing like a pose or something. It's like, yeah, I was there. I did that. That was cool. You're going to do that too. And they're just like, yes, let's go. That's so cool. Because like realistically, like 99.9% of the time, you're not playing on LAN at like an RLCS. You're probably not playing LAN at CRL unless we absolutely pop off. It's like just having this opportunity like this, like the St. Clair LAN, rumors of maybe even a Durham LAN, like all these just really, you know, like the fact that like it's a possibility that we could come out here and win this the OCC against like St. Clair, because we have a Bosco on our team. It's just incredible. So yeah, just to sum it up, like I'm just so excited. Like I really am excited, even though it's my last semester and I'm not competing after that. It's like I'm just excited for the team, and I'm definitely sticking around as like a coach advisor kind of role to make sure they're doing all right, and just to be friends with them because I consider them very close friends now. After knowing them for just like a few months, so yeah, it's great.
Ah, the wonders of Rocket League and community building. So, a couple of pillars of OCC right there. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat a little bit about your experiences and going through all of the lands and things that we've done. And looking forward to seeing you at our land at the end of April or early May. Still figuring out exactly the date and location of that, but we should have that nailed down by the time the fall major rolls around. So we should be announcing that on the Sunday, much like they do generally for like RLCS and things. They'll announce like the world's location in the like first major on the Sunday or whatever is like the big reveal. And so I think we're going to do something similar to that in terms of our release schedule for that information. So strap in for that at the beginning of December is when we should have that going for fully public. So there's your first little teaser of like LAN. Ooh. But yes, thank you for taking the time to talk, Noah. It's been a pleasure, and good luck to York this season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, we're casting in 15 minutes, so we won't need luck because we're just gonna win every game. I'm out there. I'm ready. I'm so confident in the fellas. I've seen the way they're playing. They're playing really solid, and yeah, I'm very excited. So thank you so much, and yeah, that's it.
When we come back, York versus Sheridan at 8 o'clock. Going to take about 5 to 7 minutes here just to get that lobby all set up and everything, and we'll be right back with you for some more OCC action.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back. We have taken a very short second break here before getting into our next game. Got about 5 minutes here before York will take on Sheridan in our first streamed Premier match of the year. I am here joined by Noah, as always, tonight, who is from York. And so I also forgot to mention it to you earlier, but I'll say it now. Homer broadcasts are amazing and hilarious, so please don't feel bad for being a little bit biased today. But also just to warn you all, he's going to be a little bit biased today. So be aware of that as we're going through this matchup. Exciting to see the OCC debut of Bosco here as well on the main channel. Second ranked this year, a freshman at York. A big piece. We were just talking about that for the last 20-ish minutes, Noah. That interview will be going up as a separate video to our YouTube channel probably sometime tomorrow or on Sunday. And yeah, good little chat, so go check that out when it's up. But Bosco, a big impact player. Talked a little bit about the team chemistry, team vibes, that kind of thing. But as a player himself, what does Bosco bring to the table that we'll need to look out for today?
So, Bosco's thing is that he's very, very consistent. So he'll be a very strong anchor. I think I mentioned that him as third man really brings the team together and allows confidence in Nitro and Steve. Steve, by the way, is playing in CRL next week. I think I mentioned as well. So we got him playing in OCC today. Normally you might see me, but either way we're interchangeable, and he's got another 2 semesters left, so he'll be playing on the team for longer than me. Either way, I'm very excited. It'd be very. I hopped into a call with them into their comms on our break, and I mentioned how much I hyped them up and how confident I am for them. So it'd be very awkward if after all that they get full swept. But I don't want to put that out there. So I'm very confident in the fellas. Bosco has secret mechanics, you know what I'm saying? Like the kind of mechanics he doesn't really show too often, but uses them when he needs to. Nitro loves his has a bit of a freestyler background, and loves his games of horse. Absolutely cooks me. So he's got a lot of mechanics. He's been learning the threes rotation, and he's been getting a lot better. As for your question, Jackie, normally Steve would be the sub, but we're sort of interchangeable. I think we've played the same amount of matches together. Usually we sign him up as the sub, but either way, I played main CRL. He's gonna play these CRL opens, so we're just trying to get both of us to play as much as possible. We're very similar in our abilities to play. I'd say he's better at taking time on the ball, better at certain mechanics, and then I'm probably better at positioning in threes. But overall, it's sort of a net equal when you consider how the team does. Anyways, I'm yapping for way too long. Cubics, if you want to tell me about this other team that York is going to be playing, I'd love to hear more about them.
Yeah, this is an interesting team. I did not expect there to be a Sheridan Bruins team this year. They were one of the original teams that came out to the very first OCC land. Their captain after that was on co-op, is now graduated. Was a good sort of friend of OCC, only Obi. And so after his departure, that team didn't end up playing last year. But this team here of Rocket, Radmoves, and Sistane has come in and snagged up the last auto qualification slot to Premier this semester. And so they are ranked number 7 as a team in all of Ontario, who are now in OCC, and are quite good generally. All of them at a pretty high level in terms of their skill level. So to me, this is going to be a match of sort of, we talked a little bit about it before, of the idea of having a team that's just sort of solid all around versus a team that has a 1 or 2 really good players with sort of a lackluster third in some cases, and how sort of the dynamics of those teams differ. So obviously for York, Bosco's got to be the one to watch out for. But on Sheridan, there's no like one player I can point to and be like, that is their superstar. They're all just good at Rocket League, and so we'll see how that ends up working out for them here in this game.
There's definitely advantages and disadvantages to both types of teams. Like you got like your first killer team where he's doing all the work, maybe in the past, and then you can see like when he gets a team with players who. So I'm bringing it back to RLCS, but when he gets to team with players like LJ and Chronic who are fully as capable on the ball as he is, you could see both variations of the team work. So we'll just have to see here. I know for a fact that that Bosco can hit some crazy mechanics. He's shown me in the past, but if you ask any of the top players, they'll all joke around and say he has no mech and that he is just like a bot on the field. But sometimes a team needs that. Sometimes a team needs a solid third man who can pop off every once in a while. And sometimes a team needs just 3 solid players who can not whiff aerials and hit the ball properly. So we'll definitely have to see. I will be fully supporting York University, of course. However, I'm always in for the content, so I'd love to see a Game 5 overtime. But ideally, we 3-0 sweep. We being York University, obviously. Cubics, you're the unbiased admin, but yeah, just looking forward to it, and I'm excited to get it underway.
Well, we are about ready to get going here. Had to quickly restart my overlay in the background, but Noah, if you want to give the guys down on the floor the command to get going, we should be good to go and getting our first streamed premier match off and underway. Let's head down to the field. All right, we're all joining up. Good luck to both teams, and we'll see what kind of reps Steve is able to bring, what kind of crazy moves that Bosco is able to bring, and how a consistent Sheridan team is going to be able to perform. It's cool to see some new teams here this year. Fanshawe never competing before in OCC. Sheridan back with a completely updated roster. Brock also back with a completely updated roster. So it's cool to see some of these sort of semi-new colleges and universities here competing once again.
Absolutely. And
shot bar.
already,
what a save by Radmoves. Oh my goodness.
Radmoves. Oh my goodness. That was incredible. Great placement from Bosco. I got to point that out. However, again, great save. Bosco kind of covering for Nitro's mistake there over his head. Steve gets demoed out of the play, and now we're seeing a bit of an awkward play here. Who goes first, man? Bosco does. Bosco 1v1. He loves this position. It's a great 50. Steve, can he hit the ball hard enough? He cannot. So he's unable to follow. As you can see here, bit of a counterattack. Radmoves, no boost. Nitro, free collect on the backboard. And he'll take it himself here as the first man. Plays low 50. Great there. Rocket trying to bump, unable to get it. Bosco off the ceiling. Maybe double? No, he leaves it. Steve isn't there, so Nitro follows Bosco's touch. And you can see the York University just trying to control the ball here is Steve again putting a shot on net. Bosco almost getting the bump, and I love what I'm seeing out of the boys so far.
This has been a very feisty game so far. Back and forth, a good few demos, bump plays, very aggressive from both teams. Love to see that. And some really fun moves put on by both teams as well. Couple of good opportunities. That one off the bar. Another great shot from Sheridan just off the woodwork. Not the first time we've seen that in this game. Both teams coming inches away from scoring their first goals. Neither have found the back of the net yet. 2 minutes into this series, still scoreless. Bosco with the intercept. York will try and push this one down the other way. Shot on. Radmoves save near side. That was close. Had to basically put it off the post in order to make that save, but still ends up doing so. Sheridan looking to get back out. A good clear there from Rocket. Popped up, still left in the middle, but Sistane can't quite get the angle on it. A whiff there. Sistane trying to wait for that boost in the corner. I don't think ends up getting it. Rocket clear. That one doesn't hit the ceiling either. Might have been needed for a proper second touch. Bosco with the save made that one look easy, but it certainly wasn't. Rocket with a little bit of space on the wall, able to get it up in center. Sustain. That one hits off the ceiling beautifully, but Bosco is there. Great positioning from him to stay with this ball multiple times here. The 50 from Rad as this one's up. Nitro trying to clear that one. 2 minutes left in this game. Lots of tension being built in this one, Noah.
Absolutely, and from what I saw at the start, it's completely flipped. York is on the defensive end this whole past 2 minutes, and I'm going to be honest, Cubics, I'm getting a little scared how close they're making it, but you know what? This is part of our game plan. We're just feeling it out. I imagine both teams are doing that. Obviously, if you're going into this matchup, you know Bosco is going to be the biggest threat on the field for as an opponent, so you got to make sure you watch him the whole time, but you can see every player on the team fairly threatening so far. We have a clear out from Bosco. Sustain puts it middle. No one there to follow. Steve, drop down pass to Nitro. Great placement. And Nitro bottom left. Beautiful placement there on the shot. Great pass from Steve. Good communication. And they get the first goal.
That they do. And the most miraculous thing about that to me is that Bosco wasn't even involved. That was a pass from Steve to Nitro. A beautiful bit of work there. Bosco, you can tell, has been very active on the defensive end in keeping those rotations very sound. So definitely having his own impact, but not present at all on the one and only goal so far. Oh, he might get one here, though. That one will go all the way down the field. An unlucky pinch there for the Sheridan Bruins, but Bosco able to find the back of the net here to give York their second and his first goal in OCC regular season play.
Yeah, and you can see Bosco already with 4 saves just in the back. He loves to be third man. And you know what? A lot of teams at the higher levels, they're sort of missing that. Everyone wants to be like the superstar, you know? You have like your first killers, you have your beast modes, like all these players who want to use all their mechanics on offense, but Bosco, very selfless player, decides that he would rather just play solid D and, you know, not let in any goals. And overall, it's worked very well as Bosco gets a great demo, great supporting play there, and gives Steve an open net with Nitro. Beautiful double tap into this pass. I mean, you can see, even without Bosco too involved, I mean, he got the demo. Nitro's still fully capable, and Steve in the right position to make the shot. So the fellas are looking great right now after they were stuck on defense for about 2 minutes. They really, you know, not letting in a goal there probably helped them very much in their mental. And yeah, overall, I love the way the guys are looking. So I'm a little biased, but we're looking solid. I just want to say it.
Oh, yeah. I think that last play was a really good illustration of just sort of how all of the players on York seem to fit together, with Steve getting the semi-easy goal after a very nice pass from Nitro, but, I mean, you still have to be consistent to score it. So Steve with the goal, Nitro with the pass. You can hear the demo ring out in the background from Bosco. As you get all 3 players involved like that, it's an amazing sight, and my game has crashed. We love that. Oh, we're good. Yay.
Oh, mine froze too.
I wonder if it was a server thing, actually. That's very funny.
Classic.
But yes, it is a best of 5, as they were asking. That is game 1 to York here, 3-0. And like you'd said, there was a while there where York was stuck on defense, but they were able to come out on top of that play and come out with the shutout in this game. Why do you think their defense was so good? Was it just that they were not allowing like high quality chances or keeping the ball in the corner? Was there something that you noticed about sort of their rotations in play that led them to being able to hold off that attack?
I mean, yeah, so the first time we teamed up was for this tournament called Cracked, and we went into week 1 and lost just about every match because we just couldn't play defense for our lives. Like, we were letting in the worst goals possible. So when we went back and reviewed, we just really focused and nailed down our defensive end, and we knew the offense would come out from playing solid defense. It's a very much like an energy-esque play style where they love to play their defense, they love to solo play it out, and you know, the play will come from that. And so far we've had great success that way. That's all I want to say. I don't want to give away too many of the tricks and tactics, but I know that that Bosco's been a very strong influence in the defensive end. You can see just the way he plays. He loves to play passively. He loves to play defensively. So the way he teaches us sort of leads us to play that way as well. And overall, it leads to very solid defense where we can counterattack, kind of make teams like Seneca we saw in our first matches of the day. They got impatient and just wanted to score. That was close there. It's a bit of a miscommunication there on the defense, but doesn't lead to a goal. But yeah, that impatience on the offense, wanting to force a play, eventually just leads to you either getting counterattacked or put into bad positions. And we're kind of counting on that. And so far, it's worked out well.
Nitro loves his flip resets, gone for a few already, and Bosco threads the needle through all 3 defenders at once. How is this possible? Bosco with some wizardry here. Send that man to Hogwarts. My goodness, what a play from Bosco. He wasn't even first to that ball. He was definitely second to that ball. Like, Sheridan could have gotten there earlier, and he still managed to thread the needle perfectly through all 3 of their defenders. Very good play from Bosco there. Rad trying to get that center, trying to get Sheridan's first goal on the board, but York not allowing it so far. Nitro, backboard, double tap! Come on! Are you
That's
joking?
What I like to see. That's what I love to see. Nitro using his mechanics to his absolute advantage, playing the whiff there because he knows he has teammates behind him if Rocket does get that touch. And just, if Nitro has that position, he's scoring that 10 out of 10 times. I told you, this guy has a freestyler background. He's very mechanical. And you're seeing it firsthand here, really setting up all these plays for our team.
Bosco with a beautiful play. Nitro and Bosco have 2 completely different opposite play styles, but it works so well where Bosco's able to, like, feed and play the defense that Nitro can't. Then you just give Nitro the ball, and he can just, like, run with it and do crazy stuff. Like, that's the whole game plan here. Nitro up in the air. Let's see what he can do here. Off the ceiling. Has another flip with him. Doesn't really need to use it. Just sort of lets Bosco go. And Sheridan just not able to get there. Oh, good bump from Steve on the way out. I didn't even notice that the first time. But made that much easier, considering there was nobody immediately there to get the first initial challenge for Sheridan. And when they were, whoever was in front, I forget who it was. I think it was Sustain. But didn't have any boost to, like, give a proper challenge. Very, very good play all around. Another very cohesive team play from these 3 York Lions.
Absolutely. And the aggression, the demos are very essential for us because we like to break down those teams as we almost see a great passing play, just a little bit high on the shot there. Nitro controlling the ball on no boost, decides to let it get hit back to Bosco here, who loves to take his time. You see, he loves to fake, loves to take his time, fakes 1, hits it around 2. Just can't have it on net there. And Nitro, again, forcing for Steve well there. Bosco in his favorite position, 3rd man. Nitro tries to cut it for him. Backflip there from Steve makes it awkward for Bosco. Bad moves, hits it around. Is anyone there to follow? Nobody's there to follow. And so Rocket has to take it up the wall here. Bit of a lucky break from York that no one was there to follow, but he was 3rd man trying to make that play.
Yeah, it felt like in that moment, Steve just, like, straight up over-rotated right into the middle of the net, and there was sort of nothing he could really do about it. He got caught, like, sitting duck right in the middle of the net, and that backflip was sort of the only way that he could get back into the play at all. But Bosco was there to make up for that sort of minor lapse in rotational awareness. The double bump from Bosco? Oh my goodness. The one-man wrecking crew almost makes his way through. He gets a 3rd one and a goal from Nitro. Are you kidding me? He's not going to get credit for any of that, which is the crazy part on the stat sheet, because none of them were demos, but he bumped 4 players, I think, in that sequence. And York finally got one to go.
And you are very upset right now because you're like, I'm in position, I got it, and then you're just gone. And it's hard in the comms because you expect your teammate to have it and they're just not there. So it actually throws the defense off more than you know, more than a flip reset, which they might be more comfortable dealing with compared to these bumps. And you just see these bumps coming up from York, absolutely ruining Sheridan's day. So yeah, I mean, looking great so far. Great control from York University overall, I'd say.
Yeah. One thing I wasn't expecting from this series was for Nitro and Bosco to be just as relevant as each other in terms of the grand scheme of the series. Oh my goodness, the passing from Sheridan. They're going to get one here, almost certainly. Rocket able to tap one down. Just a little bit of defensive chaos created here, but the passing from Sheridan has been very crisp. Just the shots are not connecting on target. They could have had at least 3 or 4 goals in this series already, but find their first here, finally opened the floodgates, and we'll see if that helps Sheridan going into Game 3, regain a little bit here. Still 50 seconds left in this game, too. It's not over yet.
Absolutely. And it's going to be difficult because the way York's played defense, they've been very solid. But obviously their first mistake on defense sort of allows that opening, and Sheridan takes great advantage. So I can appreciate that for sure. One thing I want to mention, and you were mentioning this, Bosco and Nitro being both relevant in the play. They've been friends for years and years, so they know how each other play, and they're kind of harmonious in that way. You mentioned one of them's very mechanical and the other one's very just solid, and it allows for that harmony in the play. And you can see Nitro using his mechs to his full advantage, trying to go off the ceiling, nearly gets the dunk, doesn't quite, and Sheridan just won't have time here to get another. Steve Once is going to drop this to the ground, and we have 2-0 for York. And Cubics, what are you thinking? Do you think there could be a reverse sweep in this series?
Oh, that seems like a very tall task at the moment for Sheridan. But their offense did start to look a lot better at the end of that game. Obviously, York's defense is super stalwart. You're not going to break it down very easily at this point. But I think there's a chance that they could take Game 3 at very least. I think they're getting closer to being able to figure out what they need to. But it's sort of miraculous how much time Nitro is able to just pull out of thin air. Like, it seems like Sheridan feel like they're not giving him that much time to work, and yet he still manages to, like, dribble across the field, like, 3 or 4 times a game. And I think if you can cut out those opportunities for Nitro to do something that he's very comfortable with and make those challenges earlier, try and challenge him more in the air, because they seem to be waiting for their challenges either to come off the backboard or off the ground instead of in the air. If they can challenge Nitro in the air, remove some of that confidence factor, I think that could be a very big key. Because you're not going to be able to, like, completely shut down Bosco because of his play style. His effectiveness is on the defensive end, unless you start doing demos and stuff as well. But I think for Nitro, removing his offensive ability and sort of his X factor, if you will, in that sense, I think could be one of their big things. And trying to open up those passing lanes a little bit more, because their passing has been great. They just haven't gotten the shots on target yet.
Absolutely. And you can see here, already off to a solid start for York University, as Bosco gets what I would consider a wide open net for him. He's never missing that. Bit of a double commit, but again, you can see in that corner, this play comes from a demo. Like, potentially that player could have gotten back if he wasn't demoed. So what I'd love to see out of Sheridan is just moving around. You mentioned getting those challenges in the air. It's way more difficult to demo someone out of the air. So if they are able to challenge that ball early and get it out of the air before just sitting around, oh my goodness.
What is that read? How do you do that, period?
I mean, he's just nuts. Like, I told you, just pull stuff out that you just never expect. Like, there's a reason he was rank X. Like, he is him. So, yeah, just Sheridan challenging earlier, maybe playing a bit quicker to avoid those demos, while also challenging the play. Here we can see 2v1 against Bosco. Bosco, great save. The placement was just about as perfect as you can get, but Bosco, again, his defense just superb. Just waiting here. He knows they don't have anything that threatening towards net, so he can just wait for them to hit the ball to him. One of the great things he does is find the space in the play. So Rocket there.
Crossbar. Again, the shooting accuracy for Sheridan. Oh my goodness. Rad moves off the bar. They have hit the post and crossbar, I think, a combined total of 5 times in the first 12 minutes of this series, every single one of them could have gone in if they were over by inches. I wonder if that's sort of a nerves thing or not, because if you count all of those as goals, the aggregate would be 8-6, and instead it's 8-1, which sounds so much worse. But Sheridan is, like, playing well. Their shots are just not quite finding the net.
And maybe they're feeling the pressure of having to place the ball perfectly against a seemingly very strong defense on York here. However, maybe a bit of mistake. Center ball. Steve forced to make an awkward save off the ramp. Brad moves, maybe jumping a little too early, putting himself in an awkward spot, giving Bosco a free ball. Mid boost missed there by Sheridan, which allows Bosco to grab it. And now all of a sudden they get to counter here. Sustain missing the ball. Nitro potentially open net here. Did he hit it? He did, just barely, and we see a 2-0 lead here from York. So half the game remaining.
That touch from Rad, not what he wanted at all. I think he wanted a softer touch, because he didn't have anybody mid, unfortunately, and a little bit too strong with that, and York end up going up 2-0 here. This is going to be a tough game for Sheridan to come back from. I think between those two shots going off the woodwork, that little play there being telling of how they're feeling. Rad moves to the good shot. Can't get it by the defense. I think this team feels like they're mentally affected by what's going on and the fact that they haven't been able to get very many goals, and they feel too much like they're being dominated. But really, when those passing plays that have been so good need to be used, that is a beautiful play from Sustain. Great intercept right to Rad moves. Intercepting a Bosco pass, very hard to do, and he predicts it perfectly, and not only predicts it perfectly, he puts it right on the front fender of Rad moves in the process, able to get a little tic-tac-toe action going there and get by Sheridan, or get by York, excuse me, and get Sheridan on the board. That's where I was going with that. Sustain with the touch, grabs the boost steal in the corner. He's got full. What can he do with it? Trying to find somebody out front. Rad moves. Tried to be there. I think Sustain thought he had more boost. The bump tries to come in. Bosco avoids it beautifully. No boost, but is able to clear that back out to midfield. Nitro pops it. Rocket going to be there. Holds. Gets the clear off the double. Bosco chasing this one. Sustain being chased by him. A demo at midfield, and York are going to get control of this here, Noah. Oh, good 50.
My goodness, and they almost get one out of that. You can see Sheridan keeping the offense on very well. Oh my goodness, great shot.
Whoa.
And he lands on it. Gets the shot on, and all of a sudden we have a tie game with a minute left here. I mean, York's just been sitting on defense. Sheridan's been doing a great job of keeping them there. And yeah, if York doesn't find a way out of their own end, they're just going to get scored on eventually. It's bound to happen, even if the shots aren't perfect. It's bound to happen. So you see here, fake kickoff coming up from York. Sustain, hitting it behind Bosco. Bosco taking time, air dribbling, trying to get it over Rocket. Doesn't quite get it past him. Nitro getting one. Bosco flicking it to the backboard. Rad moves should have this ball. Pops out away from him, and it gives it to Nitro, who loves using his space. Puts it middle. Is anyone there? No, nobody's there, so they're going to have to take this back. And Bosco tries to take control, gets bumped by Sustain, so Rad moves is going to have the ball here. Woo. Almost gets it into the net, but Nitro is always blocking that one. Rad moves. Pops up middle. Bosco almost reads it. Does Steve Once have the read here? Not quite. And two commit for York. This is going to be very awkward. Someone's going to have to get back here quick. Rocket with the shot. Nitro gets the block. Amazing save by Nitro. Keeping them in this game, tied up 2-2 with 10 seconds left.
Gotta give his defensive flowers to Nitro. All four of his saves have been ridiculous in this game. Got incredibly unlucky on the save off of Rocket earlier, but now with 0 seconds left, Sheridan looking for something. Don't get it. We have our first overtime of the live-streamed OCC season here. This bound to be a good one. Rad moves, clearing this one in. Sheridan trying to keep the series alive, take a game off of York, get a little bit of air in the tires here, and potentially try and make this reverse sweep comeback. Flip. Nitro able to get it out of there again. Beautiful play as he holds on for a beautiful save. Nitro has been phenomenal in this game on the defensive end. Maybe not being able to show the mechs on offense as much. Great lead pass to Bosco. Great interception back in front. Rad moves. Steve is there, though. And Sheridan continues to bring the intensity, but it's Steve. Flip reset, drops it down for Nitro off the backboard. Where's Bosco? Not going to commit on that one. A very smart opportunity. Full boost, wins that 50, allows his teammates to get back. And Sustain turns a weak shot on target, and that's all that Sheridan can muster at the moment. Back out to midfield. Nitro wins that 50, but Sustain will get the next touch off the ceiling. Not quite, and so it doesn't have the vertical momentum. Good save from Bosco, being aware of all the angles in the net, what it's going to take to get to every single one of them. A shot just wide from Sustain. Bosco with it again into the corner, looking for the cut center. Gets it by 2, looking for the bump on the third. Doesn't get it, but he'll get the boost steal in turn. Popped up by Bosco. Beautiful touch. Radmoves is there and sends it down. Radmoves looking for another touch. 50 from Steve. Keeps that at mid. Sustain into the corner. Now a minute 35 into this overtime. Both teams had some phenomenal opportunities. A very high-octane game. Lots of aggression, lots of back and forth plays. Both teams had opportunities so far. Noah, have you seen a difference in either one of them? Sustain with the shot, a beautiful save there again from Bosco. He's been a big difference maker here.
Yeah, and it just feels like York's on the back end of all these plays. Like, they're not able to take the control of the ball they want. Sheridan's been playing a lot quicker. This is the first center I've really seen besides that Bosco bump where no one was there. No one's there again for York. And they just need to follow each other's touches a bit closer. I think they're getting these clears over one, but then there's always the third man back for Sheridan, who always has the control of it. Brad moves, pops it over one. Nitro, looking to take control, just pops it out with 100 boost. Steve can't make contact on the ball, so Radmoves is going to have this one in the corner for free. Nitro's going to have to make the touch. Doesn't get it. Sustain. Puts him in an awkward spot. Is this a shot? It is, and Sheridan gets their first game of the series, bringing it to 2-1 for York University.
Overtime thriller, down 2-0. Sheridan complete the comeback. Nitro can't pull off the heroics again. Almost shoving it right back out of the net in Rocket's face once more. But Rocket says, no, 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 not today. And finally, Sheridan come out with a win in this series. It looked so close for so long, and you can see the shots. My goodness, the quick maths says 16-4 for Sheridan, and I have a feeling a lion's share, see what I did there, of those shots probably for Sheridan came in that overtime. They were ridiculous with their pressure and the way that they controlled possession. We haven't seen from them all series, and we knew that there was something that could click to where Sheridan looked like they could contend really well. And they found it in the back half of that game going into OT, and they genuinely looked like the better team, more coherent. Their passes started to work better. They started to have more individual confidence, and they come out with the win in this one. What from York do you think needs to change here, Noah, in order to win this series?
I think from York, they need to follow each other's touches, look for demos when they're trying to clear the ball if they're not going to. Because when they clear this ball, it just goes straight back to a Sheridan player, and they continue to beat them down on the defense with their surprisingly strong offense that is just keeping York just stuck in their own end, stuck in their own net for a lot of it too. And what I'd love to see is just a bit more control out of York University, you know, taking a bit more time in each play, thinking it out a bit more. And I already like what I'm seeing here as Nitro starts us out on the offense. Steve just waiting for Radmoves to make his touch, tries to get the block. Radmoves, great 50s there, gets a clear. Sustain looking for the mid pass. Nitro cuts it off well. And here's what I'm talking about. Bosco has the ball. Doesn't get the greatest first touch, so he's going to have to fake it. Is Steve there? Steve is. He gets the shot, and it's a great play out of Bosco. Great awareness, noticing that he does not have a good offensive play here, so he's just going to leave the ball for his teammate. Fake out Radmoves, bumps him out of the way. Sustain's caught backing up in the net, and we have a 1-0 lead for York in the first 30 seconds.
Great play, and Steve picking the spot very nicely. You had the perfect mix of speed on that shot as well as ability to aim it. So put it just far enough away, but still got a lot on that to give it the speed that it needed to get up and over. Nitro with a beautiful first touch. Oh, that was a beautiful flip reset. Is there a specific name for that flip reset? Because I've heard the Arsenal flip reset a couple of times. This Bosco gets one in there in the midfield. I think Sheridan sort of threw away the possession from Sustain with that touch. I think he thought he had somebody else back, but the Arsenal reset from Nitro, very nice to try and start that play. That one fizzles out, but right after, Bosco gets a fortunate bounce off of Sustain to put York up 2-0 here.
Yeah, and they sort of just gave that one for free. I mean, with the way Sheridan is playing, they're committing very heavily to getting that offense back, because they obviously, this could be open for Radmoves here, trying to take advantage of that. And it is open for Sustain. Great lead from Radmoves there. Very good awareness, called off by his teammate, because his teammate did have a better shot. Radmoves does go for the demo, forcing Bosco to stay in his net, and he's just caught flat-footed in the net. And all of a sudden, we have a closer game here. One goal is all that separates us.
None of these games so far, Noah, have been a particular goal fest, but 3 here in the first minute. Do you think that trend will continue?
I hope not, because York's best play is when they have the low goals but very solid defense. However, I am realizing that the offenses for both of these teams are very solid, so it is absolutely possible, as we see here, Rocket looking for a center ball there, maybe better to control it, as no one was there. And now Nitro, full control, full boost. This is the place he loves to be, tries to fake, goes for Pogo. I mean, this guy's just crazy, tries to do anything, really throws off the defense. However, unsuccessful there, as Sustain looking to pass left to Radmoves. Sheridan finding each other on the offense very well. Great demo, gets rid of Bosco. Great shot. Nitro's going to have to make an awkward read here. Does get the read. Bosco not trusting, so they do double commit. Looking for center there. Doesn't work out, and
no.
Steve reads the play perfectly. Cuts it off so well, straight in their net for 3-1.
That, unfortunately, has become a theme for Sustain today, of centering the ball and not having the teammate support that he thought he did. I think that's the 3rd goal that Sheridan has had scored on them, specifically because Sustain made a bad infield pass. And I don't even think it's just necessarily about decision-making. I feel like that's one of those things that just with time and learning how Rocket and Radmoves play a little bit better, like, I think that's all it's going to take for these players to really start to gel. What a double from Bosco. That's just in. Nitro with the follow-up. That's one of those plays where you just force the defense to make a bad save, and Nitro's just there to capitalize. But hopefully Sustain can figure out the infield passes, because Sheridan plays a very selfless style of Rocket League that really works, because I feel like nobody else plays so infield pass heavy. And Sheridan has caught York off guard with that quite a few times here, and have looked fairly good at times doing it. And I think if they can really solidify that teamwork and those passes through the infield, this could be a very formidable team, especially come April. Or May for the LAN.
Absolutely. And, oh my goodness, 1v2 play here for Nitro. Isn't able to make the save. How did he get left in this position? I believe it was actually a Bosco overcommit in the corner, going for the boost. Ball just pops out, and Nitro's just left in a really tough spot, and just isn't able to make the save. Now, one thing I'd like to see out of Sheridan is just, if they're going to take the 50 as first man, trying to get the ball out of their end, you got to take a better 50. Oh my goodness, and we have another goal here from Sheridan. I'm not sure what happened here. Maybe Steve went for the back corner. He did, and it just pops over the cheating guy. And Rocket just able to beat Bosco to this ball, making it 3-4 in favor of York still, but it's a lot closer than they probably would have wanted. So now the pressure's on York to maintain a 1-goal lead for the next 2 minutes, which is not easy when Sheridan has such strong offensive pressure.
You get a Spanish kickoff there from the side of Sheridan, going for the demo with the chasing man instead of that shot. Drop down, Sustain going for the double. He's not able to get there in time. Nitro with some goal line heroics once again. Beautiful work from him. Shot up and over. Sustain. Trying to keep it in the corner. Doesn't quite hit the pass, but it's back out middle. Rocket with the very quick double tap. Center. Drop down. Sustain. Can't get on the end of it. Nitro there. Out of boost, and Steve is going to have to come through with a touch. He loses that 50, unfortunately. Bump on Nitro. Rocket. Shot on. Bosco there with this. Or Nitro there with the save. Out of boost nonetheless. This whole team on York completely boostless. Rocket going for the flip reset. Didn't need to do that, but another boost steal from Rocket. And York is completely bone dry and will have to defend against the series or game tying goal here, which could in turn tie the series. Rocket misses his shot. Sustain has the 50 go over his head. York will be able to collect some boost and come back again finally. Rocket not able to get onto that pass. Beautiful intercept from Nitro over the head of Sustain. Panicked a little bit on that touch. Popped up and over. Rocket chasing this one down. Bosco off the wall. Rocket pops it center. Nitro going to have a challenge on him here. Sustain losing that battle to Nitro off the ceiling for the double tap. Are you joking? Nitro with a reset off the ceiling is beautiful.
It's just what he does. He is so mechanical. I mean, this guy. I went into their call earlier. I said, we're trying to get clips. He said, okay, I'll go for every clip I can. And you can just see every time he's on the ball, he has a major threat. And I wouldn't even say that, oh my goodness. Oh no. I think Rocket just missed an open net. Perhaps not expecting a touchdown from Nitro like that.
Over his head! Sustain pushed up, and Steve gets one by. And that should seal the deal here, you'd think, Noah, right? 3 goals, 26 seconds, pretty unlikely. And York should take this 1-4, but Sheridan looked good in this. And the way that they looked good is that they played very well against a clearly a very top team who has decent chemistry. And I mean, like, the other thing is that also you're not playing today and are actually the main roster player, which is part of it. But also they're good in a way that they could become great if they play a lot more as a team. Because of the way that they play Rocket League, it feels like the more time they spend playing this game together, the better they'll get. And who knows how good this Sheridan team will be come April for the Winter Major, come May for the provincial finals LAN. Who knows? This Sheridan team is definitely going to be on the up, and looked fairly good in this game, even though they lose in 4 to York.
Absolutely, and I don't want to give too many tips to what is technically my opponent, but if I'm watching the way they're playing, they have very solid chemistry and good rotation. What they need to really work on is their 50 game. They lost a lot of 50s to York here, and every time they won a 50, they got offensive pressure. Every time they lost it, it almost always ended up in their net or in their end. So it just needs to be better 50s, or you need to boom the ball to a teammate. And once Sheridan figures that out, I think they have a lot of potential here. And I know they're coming in as an underdog, and I think they performed very solidly for what we expected. And to be honest, I'm just happy for the fellas at York for putting on a show, getting us a couple of clips in there, and just making this a great day of Rocket League.
It has been a great day of Rocket League, Noah. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Very nice to be back out here doing commentary and on camera again, and glad to be joined by some fellow members of OCC to do it, and had some amazing action, lots of clips for the social media this week. So if you guys want to be featured on these live games, I'm going to be picking one of Thursday, Friday, or Saturday each week to do these streams, depending on which day has a lot of activity. And so today there was supposed to be 3 games. TMU versus Ontario Tech was supposed to be earlier today at 6. That one unfortunately had to be rescheduled. But when there's a day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that has a lot of activity, I'll do one of these streams. So get on those active days, and whichever day has sort of like a nice pattern of games throughout it is the one that I will be picking each week. So it's a little bit of luck of the draw, but I'm going to try and feature as many different teams as we can over the course of the season. So we got these 4 off of my have been on the stream once checklist. So if you want a chance, Thursday, Friday, Saturday going to be our designated stream potential days. So schedule your games then. But thank you, Noah, for coming on today. allowed me to not have to talk for about 2 hours and 16 minutes, according to my recording timer, straight without without anybody on the other side. So I very much appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely,
And
and
hope
thank you
you
for
enjoyed.
having me. I mean, I really appreciated it. This is my first casting experience. I had a great time. You made it really easy for me, and yeah, I'm just excited for more OCC. And if you ever want me to hop back on the mic, I'm always happy to do so. So thanks again.
Appreciate it, Noah. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the intermission interview earlier as well. For those who missed it, we did chat with Noah a little bit earlier about his experience. He's played in every single edition of Campus Carball, from an individual tournament to the league format that we have now. So if you want to take a look at that interview, that'll be up at some point tomorrow. In a separate video on our YouTube, as well as the VOD from today. So go and check that out. But that's enough plugs for today. Well, okay, maybe I should also shout out our Twitter and our Instagram pages, Campus Carball, wherever you can find it as well, where the clips from today's streams will go up. But thank you all for tuning in today. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next week for some more OCC action. I've been Cubics, that's been Noah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.